Inhale, jump through. Then you look forward and you think, how am I going to do that? Right? So the easiest option, I'm going to show you the easiest option, is that you don't jump, you step. Step, step. Easiest option, you sit down, try to keep your hands in place, and just glide the feet through. This is the easiest option. You can do this if you're newer to the practice, you feel less coordinated, but you want to keep that in your repertoire for those days when you feel really groggy, and you feel like, I can't even, So you remember, oh, I can still do something. I step forward and cross my feet. How do you do this to go back? You take your feet, and this, don't break the microphone, or get crack. And then you take your feet, place them under your thighs. This is a small but really important movement because it trains you in sort of how to fold your legs and have to go on the tops of the feet. So you hold your feet and you put them right over your thighs. Then your hips, you're going to take the hands forward, the hips are going to go up and over the feet, and you step back to plank. And you can continue the movement. Chaturanga, up dog, down dog. I'm going to show you the easy option number 1, and everybody's going to be able to do that. Step, step, sit on the feet, slide back over them, stretch, stretch. Relatively easy. You may find it's hard to keep your hands in place. Try to keep them in place. The way back, cross, under the thighs, hands forward, lift the hips until they're up, step, step. Okay? If that option is successful, then you can try the next one. But just like school, if you don't pass the first grade, don't sign up for calculus. Okay? We want to create enough challenge so that you're challenged, but not so much challenge so you feel like a failure. So you always want to be able to work just the edge, but not so far beyond it so you feel, look at this. Right? So you never want to feel defeated. You always want to feel, oh, I'm doing something. Yay! Doesn't look like her. No problem. I'm doing something. So now option number 2. Option number 2, still a step, but instead of sitting the butt down, you keep the butt not super high, just at the same height as the knees. Slide, slide, keep the butt up, and then the butt is down. So it's a little more strength, but it's the same basic movement. Okay? Now we move back in this way. Instead of folding the feet under, we keep the feet forward, hands between the feet and the butt, shoulders forward, hips up, step, 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 step. All right? So it's a little step, step. So the second one is a step through. The first one is kind of a glide down, right? And then the second one is a step through, step, step. It's a very, you want it to have the feeling of just, like a light step. And you want your touch in your body to be as controlled as though you're sneaking through the house at night. And there's some creaky floorboards, and you don't want anyone to hear you. So you have to control your body like that. So you don't want to flop around, otherwise you wake everyone up, right? So think about this. So here we are. No one can know. No one can know. Make sense? So if you flop around, it's much harder to control the body, right? The first one, you can let yourself flop around. The first one, everyone's awake, all right? So the first one, if you're here, everyone's awake, no problem. All right? So you're just figuring out the first one, you can kind of flop around and that glide around, everyone's awake. Second one, early in the morning, you're tiptoeing around, all right? Then, if the step works, you can think about a light hop. But what you don't want to do is make too much of a jump. So when we think jump through, we think jump to the moon. So we don't want to jump to the moon. We want to think of like a little bunny hop. All right. So then we think now we're a bunny in the field. All right. So it's a little bunny hop. Now the little bunny hop you only want to do if you can step. All right. So this is sort of option 3. We have a little bend in the knees and a mini hop. All right. So it's just a mini hop. So it's a little bend in the knees, mini hop. Then both feet at the same time. That's the number 3. The way back, the same idea. We're here, we try to up, little, little. So instead of step, it's a jump, but it's a small bunny jump. So it's a hop, hop. So 2 hops gets you through, 2 hops gets you back. Once you have these 3 options, you'll be prepared. Your body will put them together automatically to get you the fluid motion. But you have to start with step 1, step 2, step 3, and then we'll build. And the key is don't skip over any of the steps. So if you're doing the first one and it doesn't make sense, keep doing that, no problem. Don't get attracted to what the person next to you is doing. You see someone jumping, oh, I also make jump, and then, maybe she can jump, but you cannot jump. If you jump too soon, this is the mistake that happens, right? You can't get through from here. You're stuck. Because your feet are stuck. So we want to make sure that you take the time to really get that pointed foot position and get comfortable with it. That's why you have to sit on the feet, because it teaches you how to sort of keep the feet in that place where they're kind of nicely rolled up. Make sense? Your feet are pointed, they get through easy. Right? Your feet are flexed, you're like door stops. And then your knees can sometimes go too wide or wider than your arms. If your knees are wider than your arms, they don't fit through. So if we jump from here, this kind of stuff can happen. We think, man, butt is so big, it doesn't fit through like that. It's not your butt's problem, it's just you're disorganized, right? That's like having a bunch of stuff and thinking you have your suitcase. You need a bigger suitcase. You don't need a bigger suitcase, you need to learn how to pack, all right? You're gonna roll your clothes up and stick them in the corner, okay? So it's like that, you roll your body up and stick it through, okay? So I'm going to show you 1, 2, and 3 again, and then we're all going to do 1, 2, and 3. 1, step, step, sit, step, step through. Pick up the feet, place them in position, hands forward. Lift the hips up, step, step. Alright, so that's the step, step. Then, here we are. And this is the one where we're in the middle of the night. And one can know, sort of tiptoeing all the way through. And the second one, we hop, glide. 2 hops. Hop forward, hop through. Same thing on the way back. Hop back. 2 hops. Alright? Now, if you can't do the first one, when I say go on to the second one, repeat the first one. If you can do 1 and 2, but you're kind of bad at 2, don't try number 3. Just again do number 2. Make sense?